are here to discuss the topic of impact of technology on human evolution. Technology is improving day by day. The technology is improving day by day, and there are various aspects of impact of technology on human era. And I and my crew will discuss the various aspects of technology on human evolution.
Before that, there is history of. Before that, I am going to discuss about the evolution of human. This history of human era refers to the period of the time where the human activities have been recorded. On in documentary, it was said that the history of human era has been begun around 5,000 to 6,000 years ago, in which it encompasses from the early human civilians to that of modern civilizations, where we can see that the history of human era has been classified into various regions and cultures based on the periods of time. That there are different periods, that is age of early human history, that is prehistory humans. In this, the humans have been started as in hunters and gatherers by collecting their fruits and vegetables from the plants, and also they have started the cultivation, and they also have started the ploughing and farming by using the stones and stone tools, and they also have started the nomadic life culture by shifting their places in an communities. This is called as nomadic lifestyle, and these hunters and gatherers are also called as, at the age of evolution, neos. Neoliths are also called. Neos means new and liths means stones. And after coming to this, and early human, after the prehistory, ancient civilizations have been evolved. These ancient civilizations refers to the period of the time where the ancient civilians like Mesopotamians, Mesoamericans, Indus Valley, and China has been developed, which brought many changes in literature, culture, traditions, and ideologies have been developed. After the age of civilians, the classical civilizations have been developed. These classical civilizations include two major regions like Greece and Egypt has been evolved, which brought many different changes in the architecture, arts and cultures and traditions and transforms, which brought Hellenistic and Roman empires. After this classical civilizations, medieval period has been occurred. This medieval period includes the evolution of feudalistic societies after the fallout of Roman empires, which brought two major religions like Christianity and Islamic, which brought many changes in social and cultural impacts and influences on landscapes. After the medieval period, there is an era called modern Renaissance and Age of Modern Era. At this period of the time, it is around 14th century, where we have seen that the humans have the keen to education, globalization, and culture, and also has greater impacts towards gaining knowledge. We have achieved many successful innovations at the time of 14th century. So we have also global exchange and culture has been evolved at this time. Global interactions made greater possible to communicate with each other. After the modern period, after the modern period, the age of exploitation has been occurred. It is a period of the time where the humans have evolved their lifestyles and cultures and traditions. In accordance with in accordance with in accordance with industrial revolutions has also greater impact on this. At this period of the time, the British revolutions have started at the age of at the 18th century. The British have started the revolutions, which brought many industrial impacts, and greater advancement technologies have been developed across different sectors like traditions, trade culture, environmental impacts have also effect on industrial revolutions, which brought many changes in social and cultural impacts too. And in accordance with the social and cultural impacts have also been placed a pivotal role in human evolution too. age of enlightenment. It is the period of the time where the French and American revolutions has been started, which brought many changes in social and political and personal beliefs and ideologies, in which our Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has set up the constitution, which brought many rules and acts towards a person, like right to live, right to education, right to uh, right for food and right for needs, and brought many changes for our lifestyle and societies. In coming to the modern era, it is the period of the time across 19th century where we have witnessed the Cold Wars and global wars and world wars, and also the decolonizations has also started the various impacts on the human evolution, which created the technological impactments. And after these world wars and cold wars have broke out, many United Nations organizations like UNOS and Betray Woods have also started, which in turn brings the contemporary, which in turn creates the solutions for the contemporary issues between the global countries.
History of transportation. The history of transportation has begun from human era and it has been changed over a period of time. The first means of transportation was human foot. People used to travel long distances from one place to another place to reach their destination. Around 3500 BC, the first wheeled vehicle was invented and they are used as means of transportation. These wheels were attached to carts and chariots as means of transporting small goods and etc. Submarines came into existence in 1620 and 1660. From here, people used tame animals as means of transporting small goods. Tame animals like horses. In 1867, the first motorcycle was invented. Finally, in the year 1903, the Wright brothers has invented an aeroplane with an engine. When I wonder how transportation has changed from past to present, it has a very wide difference in speed, comfort, and cost. There are 5 different types of transportation exist in today's world: land transportation, water transport, aviation, space travel, and railways. About 50 years ago, my grandfather and my father used steam trains to reach their destination, like colleges and etc. These trains were, as they are steam trains, these used to travel 100 kilometers for several hours, and these trains are not that comfortable as their seats were made up of wood, and these trains pollute so much pollution as they can pollute the environment. But now we are using electrical trains which are more comfortable as their seats were made up of leather. These trains can travel 100 kilometers over several minutes, and these do not pollute any environment as they use clean energy. Increasing the speed in transportation can also make our daily lives more energetic. In future, many automations were engineered, like delivery drones, driverless cars, malab drives, and etc.
As our friends discussed the advantages of impact of technology on humans, as a coin has two faces, technology also has two faces. One is positive effects and the other is negative effects. Technology impacts our health rather than positives. Mainly the technology impact by using handheld tablets, mobile phones, it has main impact on our eyes due to long screen time and the blue light which emits by the LED or LCD screens. Our eyes get strained and we will obtain eye pain. So in order to overcome this, the American Optometric Association has recommended the 20-20-20 rule for every human and for every software employer who uses screen time much often. In order to follow the rule, for every 20 minutes of screen time, we should take a 20-second of break. And when we are watching a long long big screens, we need to maintain minimum of 20 feet of distance from it. And not only eye strain, we also experience the poor posture in the people who oftenly use the screens. In order to use the screens, the software employees will maintain the poor posture. They hunch forward and they they put pressure on their upper back and neck. So it leads to musculoskeletal pain. So the technology also impacts on poor posture. Not only poor posture, it also has impacts on it also by using technology more frequently, we get sleep problems. That in order when we use the mobiles or tablets before 1 hour or 2 hours, more oftenly when we are going to sleep, by using long screen times, it may lead to sleep problems. It may lead to sleep problems. And how a motor engine needs a break, we human beings, our brains also needs a break, and our body detoxifies only in when we are asleep. So we should give the minimum rest to our brain to do its work. Not only sleep problems, mainly the technology impacts on children, because more oftenly we can see the children used to play games in mobiles and rather than playing outdoor games. So by only playing online games, they can reduce their physical activity. So by in children, more oftenly we can see problems facing by children by playing online games. That's all.
By the way, technology had a profound impact on education throughout the human history. From the invention of printing press to the rise of online learning platforms, technology had made education more efficient and accessible. In ancient times of India, education was taught and imparted in Vedic and Buddhist education systems. Sanskrit is the main important language used to impart Vedic education system, and Pali is the main important language used to impart Buddhist education system. The main aim of the education system impart uh, mm, is to impart person's character and was to develop master of self-control, liberation, and bring awareness um, and improve the culture. The Vedic education was also included proper pronunciation and recitation of Veda, and also roots of grammar, derivation, and sacrifice, etc. Medical knowledge was also existed and was taught. In British times, this education was viewed in the perspective of historical growth. As of now, in recent times, technology had a positive significant impact in recent times. Um, with the proliferation of internet and widespread adoption of devices such as laptops, mobiles, and tablets, etc., education teachers and students now have access to wealth of information and resources that were previously unavailable. The main benefit of this technology in education is the ability for the students to access for the information and resources at anywhere and at any time. And with the internet at their fingertips, this education will be more accessible for the students, and it will be easy for them to solve answers to their questions. This flexibility in education allows the students to learn at their own pace and gives them freedom. And another major benefit of the education is personalized learning. This personalized learning allows the students more engaged and motivated to learn themselves. Finally, this technology um, Finally, this technology has a major benefit for the disability students with the assistant technologies such as speech to speech technology and electronic magnifiers, etc. They the students with disabilities can easily access the information and they improve their educational skills from this technology.
India is known for its rich heritage and culture, but nowadays we are unable to find any folk arts dance forms in our area. Many of them are not interested to watch even the stage artists who have very much skills in their dance forms, and artists they are not able to perform their dance forms because due to increasing rapid technology, the society, the social and cultural life of the society has been rapidly transformed in a tremendous way due to the increase in technology, and due to this, people are changing their lifestyles, interaction, transfer of information, etc. In the 90s era, many of the stage artists used to come to the village and they used to perform dance forms, and they never used to ask a penny from us. They actually they perform the skill they know, they teach others, and and they got to see many opportunities while they are performing dance forms, etc. And nowadays we are unable to watch any of these dance forms because many of the people are not interested to see what they are doing, and they are not even interested to go to the nearest points where they are performing, and we cannot find any of the people. Many of the people are watching addicted to television, mobile phones, and they're seeking entertainment purpose and they're watching movies, etc. But nowadays everything's changed.
The greatest challenge human beings faced a few decades ago was communication. People were limited to a close set of people with whom they could communicate. The introduction of the internet has revolutionized communication, and it allows us to people to stay in contact with each other. The evolution of the internet, social media, messaging apps has made the communication more easier, faster, and widespread. The internet and the social messaging apps, as long as the human beings have been in this planet, we have invented a lot forms of communication, from smoke signals to the messenger pigeons and to the telephone and to the email, and that's how we communicate each other now. 3D is the natural language as it impacts on the linguistic barriers as well as the technical jargon. 5G, the fifth generation of the mobile network, promises the much faster data. It allows us to wider speed connections and stable connections. It improves the these benefits will bring the improvements and significant improvement in the communication. Now, as long as we have the more advantages in the communication, we have the disadvantages too. The main disadvantage is hacking. Hacking is meant Hacking means to manipulate a system or a computer with the help of the software. Now digital even our signature is digital these days. We don't know how when we write a letter, though in those days we use it to email or a Google Hangout in these days. When we look back, communication has made our lives more easier, and it really quite incredible.
As technology is showing a big impact on environment too, as it like double-edged sword. On one hand, the technology is affecting the environment, and while on other hand, technology is favorable to environment. Let's see some positive impacts and negative impacts. Positive impacts: renewable energy. Technology has facilitated the development of renewable energy like solar energy, wind energy, hydroelectric power. The clean energy is helping to clear the reliance on fossil fuels. Waste management. The technology is showing the various effects like and improving the methods of waste management like smart waste management and recycling process. Now the negative impacts on environment. The e-waste. E-waste is the waste which is come from the technology of electronic, and it is called as e-waste.
In my point of view, globalization has the greater impact and brought significant changes in the human evolution, which brought many changes in the human evolution. That is, the globalization has changing over the decades and over the centuries, which brought many changes in human evolution. As we all know that this globalization has depending upon various different regions and the periods. That is the age of exploration. It is a period of the time where the trade and cultural exchange has been takes place. If we see that this is the period where the early human civilians and also the classical civilians like Mesopotamians, Mesoamericans, Indus and China valleys have been started, and also these Greece and Roman empires have also set up the long trade and exchange process in which they have traded and exchanged their goods and culture and traditions and also their lifestyles and art forms. After the coming to this, the Silk Road has paved a way for the impact of globalization on a human evolution. That is like this Silk Road has emerged as a bridge between the Asia, America, Middle East, and South African countries too, which brought many trade exchanges and cultures between the two countries and global changes. After that, after these Silk Roads and the cultural impacts, after this age of exploration has came into existence. That means it is a period of the time where the European drivers have started their driving towards the different countries and continents, which brought many changes and in which they have explored towards the different countries, and they came to know about the geographical features and cultures and the traditions of the other countries, and this brought their changes in contributing their trade and exchange towards the other countries, as they have also created the communication too. After this after the age of exploitation, industrial revolution took place, in which the industries have developed the major changes in the physiological, pharmaceutical companies have also been emerged with greater equipments development features. In coming to the medical field, the hospital if we see that the government hospitals have also been started with the greater developmental features, and also in accordance with private hospitals have the greater hospitality, in which we have seen many areas like in UK and Britain have also started their medical fields in and greater working facilities. After this industrial revolution, in our modern times, we have seen that due to the civilians after civil wars and world wars and cold wars, our peace has been reduced. In order to restore our peace, many global institutions like United Nations organizations and also the Brethren Woods and many other organizations have been set up to maintain peace and culture. After this, after the industrial revolution and this, the globalization has the major change in the digital revolution and in digital revolution in communication. In my point of view, this digital revolution in communication brought significant changes in the human revolution. That is, this revolution this revolution consisting of digital period where the internet has been evolved, which destroys the barriers between the distance, which destroys the barriers between the distance, and also culture, trade, and global exchanges has been increased. This helps us in communicating with each other. In my point of view, the globalization has a drastic and tremendous change in accordance with. In spite, if we consider that environmental impact and the income inequality and also the exploitation of labor, these three changes these three regions are been increasing and developing. If we consider these three from this list, the globalization has took a tremendous impact on human evolution.
Privacy and security. In my aspect, privacy and security has been a crucial part of everyone's life. Everyone is now putting strong passwords to their phone. Everyone is depositing money in the bank as and keeping a strong password because they are not willing other humans. They want to keep the secrets very secret, and they're not wanted to share any information to other beings, to other people, even they're very close to each other, relatives, etc. But this is not the same as before. In the nomadic period, as when the early humans are there, they used to communicate with each other as friendly behavior. They used to share the natural resources in an efficient way because in that time the natural resources are abundant. The adequate amount of natural resources are available because there is no fighting, there is no reason of fighting between each other for natural resources, etc. Things they used to be a very happy bond between each other. But nowadays it is not at the same. Everybody is fighting for the resources, privacy, matters are leaking, the signature is being forged, etc. Those days were the best days, and we can experience nowadays in that. But security is also one of the things. Everybody deserves better security than everyone. Security, but nowadays security has been a very important part. Everybody wants a strong security, and if you see someone like big celebrity, he has a tight security behind him, having big bodybuilders coming in the back for. So everything changed. Technology been a rapid had what a rapid change in everyone's personal life, security, career, etc.
In my point of view, economy has also brought the different and major changes in the human evolution. If we consider that at the early stages of human evolution, at the times of kings and rulers, we have the before the times of kings and rulers, at the age of early civilians at the age of early civilians and early human beings, they have only traded and exchanges between the goods and services without the money and the currency. At coming to the age of the kings, like rulers called Krishna Devaraya, and many other rulers like Mughal emperors have came into existence. They have also at the time of them the economy used the currency as in gold coins and many items, many precious coins like coinage metals have also been evolved at the time. In considering with at the modern age, we are using the rupee notes as in currency materials. In nowadays a tremendous trend is being running, that is the digital currency, where this digital currency deals with the rupee, where this digital currency deals with the money which was stored in the digital with our authentication and privacy, in which there is no need of currency. This digital currency brings the greater opportunities with which we can be developed in many greater places and cities.
Finally, I conclude that technology is a backbone for any country in order to develop on their own. As our friends discussed, technology has positive impacts and negative impacts. in transportation, earlier days, few decades ago, transport as people used to go anywhere by walk, or the people who are economically stable, they opted for the bullock carts or some other forms. And in communication, decades ago, people used to communicate. The only way to communicate among the people is to write letters. But nowadays there are many ways of communications. So technology is a great way to increase the country's economy and its GDP. So I conclude that technology can be used in both the ways, but it depends on how we use it. Thank you. అంతే ఇంకేం చెప్తా